I'm doing a final check of some of the measurements in my book, and I just can't stress enough how much better your baking will be if you just use weight measurements and a kitchen scale. I'm testing and checking everything. There will be weight and volume measurements in the book, so you can use cups and teaspoons if you want to. The problem with using cups and teaspoons is that, for example, I have 3 different recipes that use Parmesan cheese. And in one of them, I said 5 grams was a tablespoon. In one of them, I said 20 grams was 4 teaspoons. But there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. So 4 teaspoons being 20 grams, but 5 grams being a tablespoon somewhere else doesn't make any sense. But it's because when you grate this, there's so much air in it that it gets really hard to consistently say you're getting the same amount of Parmesan cheese in a tablespoon and a teaspoon and how that converts by weight. In another one, I said 4 grams was a tablespoon. The math isn't mathing. So I'm basically now going to re-grate the cheese and try to measure it in teaspoons and tablespoons to create a new ruling that will standardize this. But you could remove all the variables if you just measure by weight, because the weight amount is the correct amount, and that won't change no matter what you measure it with. So the biggest measurement of Parmesan cheese in the book is 20 grams. So I'm gonna grate 20 grams into this bowl and see how much that is. And then from there, I can figure out how many teaspoons, how many tablespoons. I can already tell you 20 grams is gonna feel like a lot. This is 5 grams, which is what I said in one of my recipes is a tablespoon. But that's not a tablespoon. That's more than a tablespoon. But there's so much air in here, if you patted this all down and packed it down, I'm sure you could fit it in a tablespoon. So that's why just using the weight measurement is gonna simplify everything. Let's get to 20. Here we're at 10. I already feel like I'm not gonna, 20 grams is gonna be a lot. This is 15. 17. I really didn't think I would need a bigger bowl than this, but this is why the weight measurements matter. That's 21 grams. So now here I have a tablespoon and I have another little bowl. I'm gonna put this little bowl on the scale and tare it to 0. Let's see what a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese is. And again, how do you get this accurate? You can't really level this. You don't want to pack it in. But a tablespoon says 2 grams. 2 grams is a tablespoon. So that means a teaspoon is 2 divided by 3 because there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. We're getting into fractions that don't exist in measuring spoons. So let's try this again. We'll get an average. Tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. Just trying to level it off. 3 grams. So that at least 1 gram could be a teaspoon. 3 grams is a tablespoon. 20 grams is definitely not 4 teaspoons, because what did I just say? A teaspoon is 1 gram. So I am going to go back to the drawing board with these new measurements. I'm going to do one more time. Yeah, 4, 3, 4. Okay. So if we take sort of an average and leave some room for error, because when people measure with measuring spoons, they're kind of loosey-goosey. All right, that's another 3. I'm going to call it at 3. I'm going to go back to my notes and make sure that the measurements in the book for the volume of Parmesan cheese are all correct. And now I'm going to eat a lot of Parmesan cheese too. So anyway, use a kitchen scale, guys. The volume measurements are there. You can absolutely use them. I'm making them as accurate as possible, but there will always be some room for error with them. And if you use a kitchen scale and measure by weight, it should just work. It should just work.